Today we have one speaker, and his evaluator will be Advanced Communicator Gold Willie Qualls. Our speaker today is none other than my big brother, Bil Sadler. Bill is a retirement advisor helping investors accumulate and distribute retirement funds. Bill is a partner with his brother, his little brother, that's me, at Sadler Retirement. Bill is also a member of Rotary Club of Daugherty County, where he serves as treasurer and president-elect. Bill is married and has 3 children. His family attends Providence Church in Albany. He earned an accounting degree from Georgia Southwestern in 1991, then worked in public accounting for 9 years. In 2000, Bill began practicing as an independent retirement advisor. He joined Toastmasters to learn and practice. Bill is going to be completing Project 7 in the Competent Communicator Manual, researcher topic. He has 5 to 7 minutes to speak. His title is Modern Day Treasure Hunting. His objectives are to collect information about his topic from numerous sources and carefully support his points and opinions with specific facts, examples, and illustrations gathered through research. Toastmasters and guests, please help me welcome Toastmaster Bil Sadler.
Blackbeard, the Black Pearl, the Caribbean, beaches, spyglasses, and X marks the spot. What comes to mind?
Treasure hunt.
Treasure hunting. Now, this treasure map has been in our family for several centuries. Wes and I have been looking for this treasure our whole lives, as were our forefathers. I'll pass it around, but please be careful with it. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. When you leave here today, you'll have all the tools you need to become a modern-day treasure hunter. Last month, on July 26th, my family took a beach trip to St. George Island, down below Tallahassee. If you know where Apalachicola is, St. George Island is right off the mainland. My in-laws have owned a place at St. George Island on the bay side for many years. And 4 or 5 times a year, we take a family beach vacation and stay at St. George Island. Every Saturday, Sunday that we're there, we sit out on the beach for about 6 hours. And at the end of the day, we're hot and exhausted. On this particular Saturday, just about 3 weeks ago, we were coming off the beach and walking on the boardwalk up to where the cars were parked. And we saw this father and son with a bewildered look on their face. Now, when you see someone looking for something with a bewildered look on their face, what's the first thing you ask?
Something wrong.
Something wrong? Can we help you find something? The father said, "We're just looking for a geocache." A what? A geocache. Now, I heard the word cache. A geocache. Well, what is it? He tried to describe it, but I couldn't understand what in the world he was talking about. We stayed around there looking for it with him, but we finally left. Well, the next morning, I got up a little early and decided to take a little exercise. I walked on the bike path and walking path, which spans the whole length of St. George Island. And I just happened to come across the house where this family was staying, and I saw the father out in the front yard. "Hey, did y'all find that geocache you were looking for yesterday?" He nodded his head that he didn't. I said, "Can I ask you a few questions about that?" I walked up in the yard, and he explained to me a little more about geocaching. And I'd like to explain some of that to you today. But the main thing I learned from him that day is that there's an app you can get on your phone that can help you become a modern-day treasure hunter. I went back after my exercise to the house, and I told my wife about it. We downloaded the free app. We played on it for a little while, and lo and behold, we discovered that there was a geocache within walking distance of the house. We've been going to that house for years and years and years and had no earthly idea that someone had hidden a geocache about a half a block from the house. We told the kids about it, said, hey y'all, let's go find this treasure. We got outside, followed the GPS. There were tons of rocks there along the side to protect the shoreline from erosion. We looked all over the place. The GPS said it should be right here. And I happened to notice a stick laying on a rock that really looked out of place. I said, honey, I bet you that is pointing to where this geocache is hidden. Sure enough, I picked up a rock right in front of that stick, and there it was. What was inside? I'll tell you in a minute. So that day we went out on the beach again, another 8 hours, felt like 8 hours. And my wife said, why don't we go back to that location where the father and son couldn't find the geocache yesterday, and let's see if we can find it. So at the end of the day, walked off the beach, down the boardwalk, got to the end, and we pulled up our GPS, and sure enough, it was right here somewhere. Now it's off plus or minus about 16 feet, so it's in this vicinity. We searched and searched, and my son said, there was a piece of trash under there that they didn't look at. I bet that could be it. So my wife and my son crawled on the ground underneath this boardwalk to where all I saw was feet sticking out, and they pulled it out and opened it up, and you should have seen my son's eyes. We found treasure. So what is geocaching? Geocaching is a real-world outdoor treasure hunting game for GPS-enabled devices like your smartphone. You navigate to a specific set of coordinates, and when you get there, you begin looking for the geocache hidden at that particular location. Now, based on my research, there are 2.5 million active geocaches all over the world, and over 6 million geocachers like myself. 4 more were added on July 26th. That was my family. So what's inside? Let me give you an example of several types of geocaches that I found. I'll go ahead and open this one, it's a little hard. It may look like a rock, but in almost every geocache, there's a slip to sign to prove that you were there. Here's another one. That may look familiar. Here's one that you would mistake for a sprinkler head. Pass that one around. And lastly, like the ones we found at the beach, they may look something like this, but they could be disguised. Now when I pass this one around, open it up, and there's something in there that I want you to take. It's called Steps to Geocaching, and it'll show you exactly how to do it. But this is the type of container we found and what we found inside. So how do you play? If you have a smartphone, you just go to the App Store, search for geocaching, download the free intro app. If you want to, there's a $9.99 app that does away with the advertising and has a lot more geocaches. Now, there's not any on the base, I've checked. That is probably illegal, as would be hiding them in cemeteries. Don't do that. Once you have the app, you click on Find Nearby Geocaches. You can look at the description, look at recent logs, and then hit Navigate to Geocache and follow the GPS. Now, geocaching got started in 2000, and here's a little bit of trivia I learned from my research. It started in May of 2000. Something significant happened on May 2nd, 2000, and those of you in the military might know what that is. Has to do with GPS. You remember, GPS was originally for the military, right? And it was protected for many years. We didn't want our enemies finding specific locations with GPS. But on that day at midnight, selective availability was taken off. And the next day, you could almost pinpoint any particular place on Earth. The very first geocache was documented the next day on May 3rd of 2000. Here's a few tips if you decide to go treasure hunting. Be discreet. A non-geocacher that has no idea what you're talking about, like we were that first day, is called a muggle. Muggle comes from the Harry Potter series. Now, a muggle may find it interesting and decide to take it. Then they're a muggler. Be careful. Geocaching can be dangerous. Climbing on rocks like we did that day, or snakes, bugs, stickers, it could ruin your day. When you go out of town on vacation or business, pull out your phone, see if you can find a geocache. There's 2.5 million of them all around the world. It's great family fun. The kids love it. I think my wife is more into it than the kids. And a few of the resources I use that may be helpful for you, Wikipedia. When I first wanted to find out what the heck this geocaching thing was all about, I went to Wikipedia, which is on the internet. It's got to be the truth, right? Geocaching.com. That's kind of like the official site that was started back in 2000 as well. Geocaching.com. And the third source, Geocaching for Dummies. I just flipped through it at the bookstore. I didn't want to be thought of as a dummy. So if you want to get started, download the geocaching app, the free or paid version. Find geocaches nearby. You'd be surprised there might be one near your house. Navigate to the geocache. It's that simple for you, the kids, the grandkids, and friends to become modern day treasure hunters. And from experience, I can tell you, it's great date night fun too. Thank you.